অনুষ্ঠানের বিশেষ অতিথি রোটারি ইন্টারন্যাশনালের প্রেসিডেন্ট ইলেক্ট কে.আর. রবীন্দ্রনকে তাঁর মূল্যবান বক্তব্য প্রদানের জন্য বিনীত অনুরোধ করছি।
Distinguished Rotarians, ladies and gentlemen, gracing the occasion as special guest, Rotary International President-elect Mr. K.R. Ravindran. May I have the privilege to invite Mr. K.R. Ravindran to please address the distinguished gathering.
I believe that was set up for our district governor. Honorable Prime Minister, Her Excellency Sheikh Hasina, District Governor Safina Rahman and Engineer Latif, Your Excellencies, my fellows in Rotary, ladies and gentlemen, I am immensely pleased to be here at this conference focused on peace, where Her Excellency herself is present. Your Excellency, your presence here not simply adds luster, but it also recognizes the values that you have placed on Rotary and what Rotary does for your country. And I suppose you are a little partial because we now have a lady boss in Rotary in Bangladesh. Your reputation, of course, has been heard even in Chicago, not simply because of your illustrious father, but because you yourself have made a name for yourself when you were awarded by UNESCO, you were honored by UNESCO for your tireless efforts and the enormous work that you've done in promoting girls' education. Female enrollment in Bangladesh is up from 33 to 55% from 1991 to 2000, and I guess that speaks for itself. But of course, apart from UNESCO, one of my predecessors, Mr. Sakuji Tanaka, was here some time ago when he honored you with Rotary's highest award, which is Rotary's Award for Peace. Safina referred to the fact that peace is not simply absence of war, as something that has been oft quoted by many people around the world. She's absolutely right. War alone does not mean absence of peace. Peace is also a full stomach. Peace is also the ability to read and write. Peace is clean water. Peace is sufficient food. Peace is dignity, self-esteem, and warmth. Peace is clothing, housing, and good health. And I imagine that's where we play a major role because health has been something that we have focused heavily on. In recent years, when I talk about health, I must say that much of the criteria on the health sector has been achieved, and therefore I would say Bangladesh has achieved peace to a large extent. Example, of course, is the work that you have done with polio. You see, our polio work that we have done with the government of Bangladesh has created very strong networks, and that same network is now used to advance other even more serious health priorities. For example, the very high immunization coverage that you now have, the fact that essential vaccines are reaching virtually the entire population of Bangladesh is all part of this polio network that was set up. Today, Bangladesh is fully covered against diphtheria, against tetanus, against pertussis, and the immunization rates have gone up from in the 80s to almost 96% just in the last 10 or 12 years. And all this is perceived during the actual activity that you were doing, your Rotarians were doing on the polio front. Of course, it was possible only because of the strong commitment of the government of Bangladesh in terms of their emphasis on routine immunization, in terms of their emphasis on quality surveillance. There's no surveillance, there's no point doing immunization. In terms of the emphasis they placed, the money they extended, they invested on national immunization days. in terms of the facilitation, in terms of the encouragement they gave for strong multi-sectoral coordination, which showed that the government was willing to work with private sector people like us, with multilaterals like UNESCO and UNICEF and so on. And the continued commitment, which was born from our polio front, but the fact that the Bangladesh government practices the maxim of think globally but act locally, with great emphasis on micro-planning. I find that you are able you're able to reach almost every child in Bangladesh with a mapping process which has gone right down to the communities, and that only a powerful government can do. So you have actually been able to reach all the children, and I can tell you that is impossible by Rotary alone. It can only be done with huge government support. Equally, Bangladesh has succeeded in reducing poverty. Now, we all know that poverty is not dead in our countries, particularly in the subcontinent in Africa. But what you have achieved is very, very laudable. If you look at the Millennium Development Goals, which talks about halving poverty, extreme poverty by half, Bangladesh is already 3 years ahead of the goals. I mean, it's quite an achievement. Then whilst my office was reading up on Bangladesh, we noticed that infant child mortality has come down substantially. The maternal mortality has come down by almost 40% in the last 15 years. And that again shows what the government is doing for the health sector, particularly for mother and child. This is an impressive record. And more, if you look at the fact that Bangladesh is only one of 16 countries which is on track to reach the Millennium Goals as far as reduction of death of mother and child is concerned. And I have to truly compliment you, Your Excellency, for what you're doing. And I can quote no one higher than the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, when he was here in October 2011, I think, when he said Bangladesh is proof that governments have to set the stage for effective health care, but it's the private sector and civil society which must help deliver that. And I think he must be truly referring to the type of work Rotary and the government has been doing. And interestingly, I think Safina sort of referred to it passingly, I also discovered that as of October 2014, Bangladesh has contributed the highest number of total personnel to the UN peacekeeping operations, 8,758 to be precise. They are attached to various peacekeeping forces of United Nations in various parts of the world, and it's not just, they're just not doing duty there. They are well known, they have earned an excellent reputation, they are highly disciplined, and they are known as an extremely effective force to have with you. So if all this is not progress, I'm not sure what is progress, and I must compliment you again. So I must congratulate Her Excellency for her leadership. I must tell you, Your Excellency, that Rotary stays committed to support you in all your laudable initiatives. And I think we understand that the people's ills of a country cannot be resolved by government alone. Very often, we civilians are very good at sitting back and criticizing everyone when we don't lift a finger ourselves to support the government in what they do. So I'm happy to tell you that in the last 2 days, from what I've heard of Rotary here, Rotary is strong, Rotary is vibrant, and Rotary is a great asset to the government and people of Bangladesh. And I'm proud that the 6,000 plus Rotarians here are active partners in the growth, in the progress, and in the peacekeeping of Bangladesh. And I wish this to be a truly great peace conference, and I'm so grateful that you invited me here. Thank you.
এবারে ধন্যবাদ জ্ঞাপন করছেন রোটারিয়ান নিয়াজ রহিম, President, Rotary Club of Dhaka, Mohanagar.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now to offer vote of thanks, may I call upon Rotarian Niaz Rahim, President, Rotary Club of Dhaka, Mohanagar.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Ladies and gentlemen, a good morning to you all. It is my honor and pleasure to offer our gratitude on behalf of the Rotary Club of Dhaka, Mohanagar to our chief guest, Honorable Prime Minister of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina. Your Excellency, our conference has reached a higher plateau with your gracious presence despite your busy schedule. Your valuable words would encourage us to uplift the lives of the less fortunate with a new vigor, inshallah. Rotary International President-elect K.R. Ravi, you have inspired us to continue the Rotary momentum in Bangladesh. Thank you for coming all the way to Bangladesh with your gracious spouse, future World First Lady Vanati, to show your solidarity to our cause. We had a vision to host an international peace conference, but it would not be possible without the enthusiastic support and guidance of DG Safina Rahman. Thank you for allowing us to bring this program to life. Also, thanks to DG Engineer M.A. Latif for joining the conference and unifying the Rotary movement in Bangladesh. We are very fortunate to have distinguished speakers from around the world. We will learn, gain important knowledge from them. We are grateful to all the diplomatic missions, Rotary leaders and participants for making this conference very exorbitant and lively. Without your participation, this conference would be meaningless. Thank you to all our club members for working relentlessly for making its program a grand success. My sincerest gratitude to all the Rotarians of other clubs who have worked day and night alongside us. You have taught us the fellowship and humility that binds us all into the fold of Rotary. I thank the members of the Prime Minister's office and her